Hi, I'm George, and I'm the vocalist for the Animus. Started music, I think about when I was about 15. I was in high school. I was approached by one of my friends to be in his band. He asked me to play bass, and I told him I didn't know how to play bass. And he just kept insisting, and I told him, well, you gotta kind of ask my mom, and he did. It's kind of weird. But ever since then, I've been in music. My influences have changed throughout the years, but one influence has never changed. I'm like huge on Fear Factory, Machine Head, and Cradle Filth. Nowadays, I'm a little more heavier influenced on like Between the Buried and Me, Black Dahlia Murder, Misery Signals, August Burns Red, and a few other bands. My view on the lyrical direction with the Animus is I'm a lot more content with it. I feel like in previous bands I was a little like secluded towards what I was writing, and like I was stuck on a certain genre that I had to like write and seeing a certain way. Not that it necessarily was a bad thing, but I felt like there was a small sense of freedom, of creativity that was being kind of locked in. The musical direction is definitely a plus this time, because I've always wanted to be in a heavier band. I think that was my stride in my previous bands, because I definitely started trying to change my vocal style, but it just sometimes would work, sometimes it wouldn't. So as far as the direction for both, I think that it's definitely going the way I want it to. My view on today's age of music, I think today's age of music, like people are like limiting their talents. Like music has took such a turn that it's like everyone wants to sound like, the same as this band, when I think they should develop and discover a sound of their own. Like, that's the beauty of like the creativity of music, and not closing the doors to freedom as a lyricist and a guitarist, a drummer, or just a musician in general. Like, when you don't close that door of being creatively free, then we'd be surprised at what you can actually come up with. A lot of people come up with something new that's never been heard of. There's like a different vocal pattern, a different picking style, which, that's cool if you're gonna mock or mimic or portray the same as someone else, but do it your way, not someone else's way. The difference between the Animus and my previous bands, it all depends on which band you're talking or referring to. Like Eleonora, I believe when I was in Eleonora, which was the band right after Death by Design, that I was initiating with one of the old members of Death by Design. I believe it was like the birth of what I wanted to accomplish with what I'm doing now. Like, I was getting the general basis idea and like the feel of what I truly wanted to do. With Death by Design now, the biggest difference there between the Animus and Death by Design is that, see, Death by Design, that was like the first band that I truly was seriously involved in. So with the accomplishments that I've done with that band, I think that I want to do double that amount with the Animus. I think this time around the Animus is like more or less like it's mine and Frankie's, but on a personal level. It's like it's my baby. Like, I'm creating it without the previous people that I knew or the previous people I jammed with. This is the first time me and Frank actually got together and jammed. The name of the new album is called Her Majesty Killed the King. We came up with that name because when we were previously looking for band names, that was actually one we were considering, but we decided it was too long. So me and Frank, once we decided on the Animus, we kind of sat down and said, hey, let's call the new album Her Majesty Killed the King and make a concept album. The story and the concept of this album basically goes along the lines of like a queen who is like miserable with her life. She's tired with everything that's going on and tired of the way the king treats her, so she takes action. She started sharing him with other women, like concubines, and just tired of basically taking the abuse that comes with being a queen as basically your second best rather than first. So she makes a pact with the devil, and in the end of it all, she realizes how much she actually does care for the king, but that's where the tricky part comes. Is it too late? And is it time to return back to reality and stop what's going to happen with this pact, or go through with it and see it all the way out to the end? My goal with the upcoming album is basically to establish the Animus as and for what we are perceiving it to be: heavy, aggressive, in your face, a combination of influences and determination, where people could recognize all this and say, damn, that's a badass band. And that's exactly what I think this album is going to do. I think it's definitely going to take a great amount of effort from me and Frank and the rest of the guys in the band, but I also think that, you know, the people who listen to it are going to go, wow, that's Frankie, that's George, you know, and the ones who know Ken and Steve are like, wow, that's them, and say, these guys are definitely onto something. And that's where my goal with the following album is, just to go heavier, farther, and take it to the next level from his predecessor. What I'd like to accomplish with the Animus is basically a foundation of having fun. I felt like I lost that musically and with my previous bands, and I want to regain that back. So far, that's exactly what's happening. And like I said in a previous question, I want to take the Animus, you know, and double it the amount of what I did with my previous bands. I definitely think that this is that one big hurrah that you wait for. You just got to take it and run with it and create it into something big. And that's exactly what I plan on doing with the Animus. So, I mean, I hope everyone likes what they hear.